our show, it's the homework part. Every week,
Yay!
I give
Homework.
Danton an album.
Homework
Every
can
week,
be
Dan
fun in rock and roll.
And every week, Danton gives me an album. So this week, since we talked about power metal last week, I gave Danton another one of my favorite power metal albums, which was by the band Kamelot. The album was called Karma. And Danton gave me an instrumental album called Soften the Glare, Making Faces. Now, this is a side project by the bass player from Mudvayne?
Yes.
Right? Okay. Well, if you want to go first, go ahead.
Sure. So yeah, in the name of our last week doing the power metal bit, again, same thing I just said about finding, okay, now I have even more stuff to listen to and more things to check out. So I spent a lot of time this week revisiting bands I was familiar with and kind of scouring the depths a little bit. I was really fascinated to explore Rainbow because it's a band I kind of heard little bits here and there, a couple songs. So I figured check them out since they're the kind of definitive proto power metal. So I did 2 of their albums. We talked a lot about my favorite power metal band, Rhapsody of Fire, and I discovered while we were doing the show last week they had a new album that just dropped pretty recently. So I checked that out. So I've been just consuming tons of power metal all week, and Kamelot Karma just blew me away. I absolutely loved it. Like I've always had a thing for Kamelot. Like, oh yeah, these guys are great. They're really good. They're solid musicians. The singer's fantastic. He has a great voice. The instrumental parts are great. There's that really strong symphonic and very fantastic nature to all of their writing, and anything I heard by them I liked. So I was kind of eager to jump into this album because none of the songs on Karma I heard before. And it was like pretty much almost every track made me go, oh, and that face when you hear something that's really, really cool, and just like, and just how well the singer enunciates and dictates all of his text. Like I didn't have to like look up the lyrics and read along. I'm able to get a lot of the stories on the first impression, which is hard for me because I'm like beyond ADD with that stuff. I'm like, oh, the guitars are, there's the string synths in the background and there's piano and then what's the drummer doing? Like I'm always about everything all the time, and I tend to miss a lot of the lyrics a lot of the times. But this album spoke to me in every musical aspect, and I am kicking myself even harder in the ass for not checking out more of Kamelot's albums cover to cover, because it's always been like hear a song here or there and like, oh wow, those guys are really good. Oh wow, that's really cool stuff. I should check them out, and I never do. It's the greatest sin to rock and roll is just to not listen to it. So I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. I'm definitely going to revisit it, but I'm probably first and foremost going to hit some of their other stuff first. So Jeff, if you want to assign any other stuff like that, give me other recommendations because you know the band a lot better than I do. So I'd be curious to hear your feedback and input. But I mean, I'm eventually going to do their whole discography. No doubt about it. They're great.
Most of it is good. Most of it's really, really excellent stuff. Even when it's not like as fantastic as Karma, it's still pretty good. They're really solid. The next album after that, Epica, is just as good, if not better, I'd say.
Okay.
But Karma's a fantastic album. Personally, my favorite track off of Karma is the title track. I just love that.
Yeah, same.
At the beginning, those couple little notes he plays in the beginning.
Yeah,
that's like
it's an all-in-one package. It has everything you could want from a power metal song by a power metal.
Yeah.
I also like that the version I found on Spotify. I don't know if this is the actual album or if it was some kind of special edition or something, but they had the slow little kind of bard track. I forget the name of it, but they had the whole thing rewritten in French.
Oh wow!
At the end, so after like the little 3-part epic that closed the album, there was here's the earlier song from the album, but it's in French, and like just he's singing everything in fluent French, and it's beautiful, and it was like, oh wow, that sounds even better in another language than it did in English. It was
he's a fantastic vocalist. Roy Khan, his name is.
Oh, beautiful,
fantastic
beautiful
vocalist.
voice.
He has another band called Conception, which he was in before Kamelot and after Kamelot. Now I get it. Yeah, they just released a new album. Actually,
Conception did.
Yeah, he went back to his original band after he left Kamelot. Oh God, it's probably almost 10 years ago now, if not more. And he went back to his original band, and they just released an album, I think, a year or two ago. It's pretty good. Conception's older stuff is better. It's not really power metal though. It's more just like heavy metal. It's still good stuff. I'm glad he enjoyed the album. I do have more power metal for you, whatever if you want.
I loved it.
I can think of a couple. I'm trying to think of a power metal album that's like Karma, because Karma is like every song is different on that. It's not just straightforward fast power metal, you know.
Yeah, it had a lot of variety, which I enjoyed
Yeah,
too. Yeah.
there's a lot of variety to Kamelot, which is great, because I know again, like it could get power metal can get boring if everything is at breakneck speed for like the entire album, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it
I'm
definitely
glad.
it paced itself very, very well, and it, like the whole time listening to it, I actually just more so got angry with myself of why don't I listen to power metal all the time? It's the best,
It's
and
great
I
stuff.
just never I keep getting distracted by other styles, and and then like months go by that I don't listen to anything that's power metal, and then every time I like every time I go to Rhapsody, this time when I went to Camelot, it's like why don't I listen to this stuff more often? It is so good.
So you'd listen to it again. Thumbs up for Kamelot Karma,
Oh yeah,
right?
10 out of 10, easy.
All right, excellent. Now I was assigned Soften the Glare, Making Faces. This
Yes.
instrumental album, okay, it's a groovy jazz heavy rock fusion album, and it is cool. What I liked about it was each tune was different. Like it had
Yeah.
a different mood and groove to it. The songs are short enough that they don't overstay their welcome either. That was another thing.
The whole album is
I
really
was worried like this was gonna be like long and drawn out, and no, man, it was like, you know, once you're done with it, once it gets to the point where it's like, okay, the song should end, it ends, and then you're on to something completely different. Like
yeah.
every song on this album had a different groove, and everything felt fresh. That's a pretty astounding feat to do for a lead bass written set of compositions, because that's what this album is. It's lead bass.
A lot of bass playing.
You know? It's lead bass. Yeah, that's
the guitar playing is great too. I think it's just
oh yeah, but there's no like shredding solos. It's all bass, man. You know. So I say if you like hooky prog rock jazz fusion instrumental albums, this one is for you. I really enjoyed it. It's great for background music too. You know, like this is something like you put on when you're doing work, and that's what I did. Like all week, I had it on when I was editing video and stuff. I really enjoyed it. Now, see, I don't really like Mudvayne, but I like this.
Yeah,
a lot.
I figured.
You know, maybe I need to give it. Maybe I need to give Mudvayne another chance because, you know.
Yeah, Ryan Martini's probably my favorite bass player.
He's really, really good, man. You know, and I don't know how much of that shows.
He just has a unique playing style. He even plays with like his own unique tuning, I'm pretty sure. And he's just got a whole, like, he just really crafted and cultivated his own sound. And I think that goes to 11 with Soften the Glare. And it was cool. We were talking about them last week when I gave you the assignment, and I found out that they just put another album out.
Oh yeah.
And so I listened to that.
Yeah,
so I listened to that, and it was really, really. Did you listen to it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then I was gonna give that to you as your next assignment to check out.
Yeah, I jammed to it. It's good. It's just, you know what? It was since this first one was my assignment, I listened to that more. But the other one is just as good, and I can see myself whenever I'm like cleaning the man cave or I'm doing some work, I'm gonna throw that on because it's a really good background music kind of thing to just.
It's got energy and it's colorful and and like you said, it changes frequently enough that it never gets boring.
The standout tracks were like pretty much most of the album, but there's 4 I'm going to mention. Mission Possible, excellent. March of the Cephalopods is great.
Yep, that's probably my favorite.
Funk Lady and What Chandra Sees are the ones I keep on going back to. But not saying there's a bad track on that album. Pretty much either.
No, not really. Yeah, they're all really great.
It's good stuff, man. It really, really solid stuff. And this is like, to anyone that like is like, okay, well, this is the guy from the band Mudvayne. We're not going to listen to this. Don't let that like steer you away from this album. It's fantastic, and it doesn't sound anything like Mudvayne.
That might be why you think it's a metal album, judging your tastes.
It's not a new metal album. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not a new metal album at all. It's a great,
couldn't be further from
funky prog rock jazz fusion awesomeness album. I love it. I thought it was great, and I'm not a huge fan of most instrumental stuff. I get bored with it. I don't hear vocals, but this one kept my interest because, like I said, the songs aren't overly long, and once they're done, and it's on to something completely new. Every track has a different feel.
Really weird and quirky and cool. I love it. So you can thank my brother Blaze for that because he showed me he showed a lot of us these guys because he was a big Mudvayne fan back
Yeah.
in the day, and he
Yeah, actually, I sent him a text today about it.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was funny. I'm surprised he didn't know that the new album was out because I texted him. I was like, yo, why didn't you tell me that they put a new album out? And he said, wait, what? And,
Yeah.
it's like, dude, you got to listen to it. It's great. And, oh, man. So, yeah, it's good stuff. I'm glad you
Well,
liked
you
it.
know what? Hey, man, like I said, it was great. Anyone I think that likes any kind of instrumental prog rock should check it out.